Hi everyone, welcome back to the Controversial Podcast. This is episode 16, and in today's episode, we are just going to challenge the status quo. Actually, this episode is dedicated to Black people, Black South Africans in particular, people today who are still poor. The majority of African South Africans and colored people are poor. We can debate about Indians because Indians get it. Indians understand the financial literacy. Indians understand the economy. Indians understand the business side. So I'm going to talk about these people, coloreds and Africans. Let us learn to challenge the status quo. What do I mean by that? Let us learn to challenge our politicians, especially when they are lying. Let's take them to courts. Let us challenge the Constitutional Court. Why the Constitutional Court is funded by NGOs. Why these international NGOs are actually paying constitutional courts. What agenda do they have? We've got that guy, I forgot his name, is Makati. I'll just write it on the screen. That young man invented Please Call Me, came up with this idea of Please Call Me. And Vodacom is owing him billions, a lot of money they don't want to pay. The courts are just taking him for a ride. They're colluding with that private company, Vodacom. They just don't want to pay him. They're trying by all means to get away with this. So I want us to look at AfriForum. I want us to study the white people here in South Africa. Look at white people. They've got your DA. The political party DA is only there to challenge the radical economic transformation of Black people. They don't want your labor laws. They don't want your minimum wage. Helen Zell, the federal council of that party, is very clear. They do not care about Black South Africans who are poor. Actually, they don't want businesses to pay people. Hence, they don't have a problem with illegal foreigners. They don't have a problem with them. They've got their own AfriForum. AfriForum is always there to challenge the courts, especially when the ANC is doing them dirty. We've seen how they've defended their own people. We've seen how they've defended that principal that was accused of raping Kwekwe. We've seen how they have defended themselves against ANC when they were trying to erase Africans through their nonsense of Bella bills. They were never there for Black South Africans, Black ordinary people. And they saw in that bill that it states that they want illegal aliens, children, to go and register to schools, even though they don't have documentation. They didn't defend ordinary Black South Africans, especially poor people who are relying to public healthcare, who are relying to public education. They are always defending their people. They are defending the business owners. Their mandate is very clear, very, very clear. But I'm not going to focus on that. Why can South Africans, Black South Africans, form their own forum, challenge the African National Congress? Because it's no longer there for Black people. They just want to divide South Africans. There's corruption in government. There's so many things that were done by Inkatha Freedom Party during apartheid. The late Mangosuthu Buthelezi was siding with apartheid people. Remember, Gaja didn't want South Africa to be sanctioned. Apparently, he was working with W. de Klerk. Apparently, de Klerk supplied them with plenty of guns. So it was a war against Black people. And a lot of Black people were unaliving each other just because the other one is Inkatha Freedom Party and the other one is African National Congress. It was so sad and bad. So I want us to forget about that. The Black people need to start their own AfriForum. Copy exactly what the white people are doing in this country so that we can strengthen the economy together. I was very disappointed in Boysen Ndlozi, the former EFF member of parliament. I was so disappointed because he's the one who said he was thinking about starting a forum for Black people. I don't know what happened. He's now working for a radio station though. I'm telling you, he was on the right direction there. If Black people can learn to support each other, now we don't have to take it to the streets always. Yes, we can take it to the streets, but let us have our own Black people who are going to defend us in courts. Let us have our own activists, Black activists, that are going to defend this country. that are going to defend the economy of this country. How are we going to be equal when you've got your cadres? When ANC was negotiating freedom, they put themselves first, especially when they introduced this nonsensical bill, Triple BEE. They just wanted to enrich themselves. I'm just going to mention your ANC billionaires. I'm talking about Tokyo Sahwale. I'm talking about Robert Gumede. These people, and there are so many of them, these people are relying on tenders. Now, I'm not saying they are corrupt or anything, especially these people that I have mentioned. They are getting tenders from government. Maybe some of them are doing the job. Maybe some of them are not doing the job. But we've seen recently, we've got your construction mafias who are getting tenders. You've got people like TK Molefe getting tenders. You've got people like Vusi Muzi Ket Matlala getting tenders, even though they're accused of being Isinkabi. Those people are accused of cruel things, yet they are getting tenders. We've seen in Limpopo province where Zimbos are getting tenders also. They are abusing the taxpayers' money like it's nobody's business. The only reason why government is standing is because people are paying tax and legit businesses are paying tax. They don't consider all those things. We had an issue of load shedding. There are so many small businesses that didn't make it just because of load shedding. There was 500 billion rand that was announced by Ramaphosa. He said he's going to fund small businesses. He's going to help small businesses to recover during COVID-19. That fund was meant to help people during COVID-19 pandemic, but that money never landed to those people, the rightful people that were supposed to get that money. There's no accountability or whatsoever. Black people need to wake up and start their own forum. Every time when these people lie, Ramaphosa went to Alexandra and lied to those people. He said he's going to build 1 million houses there. He has never done it. Now we've seen so many projects that have failed under ANC because of this Triple BEE nonsense. The tenders are just there so that your comrades can take that money, not for black people. We've seen deep rural areas in Eastern Cape. I'm just going to make an example of Eastern Cape because it's always there on cutting edge. There's no bridges for people in rural areas. The roads are bad. In all provinces, let us not talk only about Eastern Cape, especially where ANC is governing. They will announce tenders every year. There's always a budget speech. You will hear that we are going to fix the roads, we are going to build the roads, we are going to build the bridges, we are going to build houses, we are going to build RDPs, there's going to be new developments. Even Ramaphosa till this date, he told us about the smart cities. We're still waiting. Where is accountability in that? Why can't we challenge our politicians when they lie? They come and lie to you, but no one dares to challenge those politicians. The provincial commissioner, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, made explosive allegations about drug cartels, about the judiciary working with the criminals, about your politicians working with criminals. Your politicians like Senzo Mchunu was accused of interfering with police operations. Him and General Sibiya were accused of disbanding the political task team because there are so many people who are involved in these things. That man just proved that South Africa is a mafia state, but no one is willing to accept that. I feel like we have failed Mkhwanazi. Why do I say that? The commission of inquiry was not supposed to take place. Those people were supposed to be arrested, especially the politicians who are involved in this nonsense. Because we've seen that the commission of inquiry is a fruitless expenditure. It's not fruitful at all. It's useless, actually. The Zondo Commission, who was arrested there? Can you tell me the big fish that were arrested there? Now we've got your pastors, that Namibian pastor, Shefard Bushiri. There were so many allegations against that guy. He was accused of money laundering. He was accused of raping women in his church. But we're not doing anything. We do not have a forum, a black forum that is standing on business. We don't have a forum that will go to courts and defend black poor people. You know what baffles me the most? You've got your clever blacks. I don't know whether I should use that term. Come month end, they drink like it's nobody's business. They're drowning in debts. They don't want to take accountability and go and teach themselves about financial literacy. They don't want to invest in that. They're spending and spending. If we can pay for that forum, we know that our people can be taken care of. We can see economic transformation happening very fast in this country. Instead, we've got your politicians like Gates and McKenzie. He's even denying that he's racist. He's never been racist to anybody, even though he made those tweets. He quoted Gandhi. Gandhi was telling black people that the only thing that they know is to buy cows and have a wife. Those kafirs, nothing else they know. He would tweet and say, there's no black diamond. We only have a better kafirs. Gates and McKenzie is just dividing black people. Coloureds think that they are better than Africans, yet they have a huge problem of drugs. Gangsters who are always killing innocent young children. They are always unaliving young, innocent children. A 3-month baby was recently unalived in Cape Flats by the gangsters. Gangsters were apparently fighting. They killed the mother. They killed the baby. There are so many horrible things that are happening in Cape Flats. Even your DA is running that province. They just ignore those things. Not so long ago, those guys, Ian Cameroon, the DA people, Ian Cameroon, I forgot the other guy, they were attacked. They almost lost their lives because they don't care where black people are residing or coloureds. I want you to think beyond as a black South African. Talking about the educated ones, there's so much that you can do. If we are starting a forum, there are so many political black parties. Those parties are just there to divide the vote because they know that once we are united, there's so much that we can do. There's so much as black people that we can achieve because the majority of people here in South Africa right at this moment are black people. These parties have got funders. These funders are busy dividing the votes. It's so sad. Let me go back to Gates and McKenzie. Gates and McKenzie made it very clear that he's denying everything. It wasn't racist there. There was a colored there who was giggling, a young child was giggling, calling black people kafirs. It's a shame. Not only is disgusting, but it's a shame. We've got colored parents who are busy telling their kids that, you know what, black Africans will always be kafirs. In this day and age, in 2025, 31 years later, in this nonsensical democracy, you've got coloureds calling black people kafirs. When Open Chats made those comments, maybe they were right. I mean, no right person would go and kill a child who's 3 months. It proves that we do have coloureds who are crazy. How can you kill somebody who's 3 months, yet the ANC is doing nothing about it? We still have an issue of racism. Even though there's poverty in this country, racism is still there. We shouldn't be thinking about racism. We should be thinking, how can we uplift each other as black people? Especially the forgotten communities. I'm talking about your black people, black African people. I'm talking about your coloureds. It's not normal to live in a place like that, especially in Cape Flats. Now, there are so many Cape Flats here in South Africa. It's not only Cape Flats. Where there's colours, there are issues. Why is it like that? We are always told that we've got your black excellence. You've got your Ngugai Tobis. You've got your Moses Kakane, Advocate Moses Kakane. Who is going to defend black people, honestly? If we cannot come together, if you can just leave these parties who are trying by all means to divide us, then we are told to harbour the criminals. No, South Africa should harbour the criminals, the illegal aliens who are unaliving our police officers. Can you imagine what can happen if I go to Zimbabwe or Nigeria or wherever and kill the police officer there? That is an insult to the state. That is just an insult. Then they are telling us that we We should allow these people. We should harbor these people. We shouldn't arrest them. As I'm talking, Moyo is nowhere to be found. He went back to Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe authorities, listen, Zimbabwe authorities don't give a damn about South Africa. They do not give a damn about those police officers. It seems like the country that is helping South Africa when it comes to criminals is only Swaziland. There was a detective that was unalived in Mpumalanga. After unaliving that police, they then crossed the borders and ran to Eswatini. Eswatini acted swiftly together with South African police. They unalived that suspect and others were arrested who were committing a robbery there in Mpumalanga. I forgot the name of that town. They acted very swiftly. They were very professional. These are the people who were ready to help South Africans. Same thing with AKA, the musician rapper who was gunned down in Durban in February 2022. Where did they get those suspects? They were found in Swaziland. 2 of them were found in Swaziland. The SAPS and the royal authorities helped South Africans to capture those criminals. Why can't Zimbabwe do the same thing? They want to come here and cause anarchy. They want this country to be ungovernable. Yet they forget that they got their freedom thanks to Umkhonto weSizwe. They don't want to acknowledge that. After attaining their freedom, what did they do? They unalived your Umkhonto weSizwe soldiers because the government of South Africa under apartheid regime went and spoke to Mugabe. They made a deal. They said, Zimbabwe, unalive these people. They are causing anarchy even though they helped them to attain freedom. Unalive these people. We don't need them. And yes, indeed they did that. The MK soldiers had to leave. When they had economic crisis in 2008, a lot of them came here in South Africa. We welcomed them. Listen, we welcomed them when they had issues in Zimbabwe. Today, they are unaliving South Africans. They are trying by all means to eliminate black South Africans. I was so upset. I was on another live on TikTok. Then I heard Againist there saying that, it's only 100 people who are in South Africa that are unaliving you. You should be thankful. If you continue chasing them away, thousands of Zimbabweans will come in and unalive you. What a stupid man. A coward who cannot fight Mnangagwa. A landlocked country depending on South Africa for food and other basic things. You are threatening South Africans. What a stupid criminal. He even said they blamed Thabo Mbeki. You need to understand when Thabo Mbeki was there during those elections. He wasn't there as the president of South Africa. He was the chairperson of the SADC countries. Why are you dragging Mbeki? Why can't you drag SADC countries? I'm sure you can't even drag King Mswati, because that man does not play. No, you have to drag South Africans. There are so many crimes that are committed by your Mozambicans, your Zimbabweans, your Nigerians. They are known for powder. It's a known thing. A Mozambican, not so long ago, as a Mozambican guy unalived a 6-year-old child. They have raped that child. They have unalived the child. And we should just keep on harboring these people. No, these are our sisters and brothers. Why should we harbor criminals, dangerous criminals? In fact, dangerous, very dangerous.